Welcome to Whispers of the Web, where the hidden gems of the web come to life. Join us as we unravel the most fascinating tales, secrets, and discussions from across the web. Every whisper has a story. If you enjoy our journey through the whispers of the web, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the intrigue. Story number 1. My 17 female friend, 18 male, told me he no longer respects me after I went skinny dipping with him and 3 other guys. We've been friends for 3 years, 5 of us, me, my friend in question, and 3 other male friends of ours were hanging out last night when one of those other 3 suggested we all go skinny dipping in his family's pool while the rest of them were away. I didn't really love the idea, but I didn't want to be left out, so I went ahead and got naked and jumped in the pool. None of the guys did anything at that point to make me uncomfortable, and I ended up even showing off some of my skills on the diving board. Later on, my friend offered to walk me home. As we were walking home, he said, "I lost a bit of respect for you tonight. I didn't think you were that kind of girl. I mean, there were 4 guys there." I told him, "I don't understand," he said. "I just thought you were marriage material or something, but now I'm reconsidering." I said, "It's okay. I don't want to marry you either, bro," he said. "I just can't believe you got naked in front of 4 guys and then went up on the diving board like that." I said, "So you lost respect for everyone or just me?" he said. "You, because men don't marry women like that." I changed the subject of conversation, but after I got inside I blocked his number. I am feeling very uncomfortable about how he has spoken to me. I'm going to see him at school on Monday. I feel so angry that my friend told me he lost respect for me. What do I do next time I see him? I don't feel like hanging out with him again at this point. TLDR. I'm angry that he judged me and me alone. I'm sorry to hear about the upsetting experience you had with your friend. It's completely understandable that you feel angry and uncomfortable after that conversation. His comments were not only judgmental but also reflected unfair double standards. You have the right to make choices about your own body and actions, and it's not for anyone else to judge, especially in a situation where everyone was equally participating. His notion that men don't marry women like that is an outdated and sexist viewpoint. It's concerning that he singled you out for criticism, despite the fact that it was a group decision to go skinny dipping. His comments seem to reflect his own insecurities or beliefs rather than anything to do with your worth or character. Regarding what to do when you see him at school, trust your feelings. If you don't feel comfortable hanging out with him anymore, that's completely valid. You deserve to be around people who respect you and make you feel comfortable and valued. It's okay to set boundaries with him, or even end the friendship if that's what feels right for you. True friends respect and support each other, and it's important to surround yourself with people who uplift you rather than bring you down. Do you guys think she should completely end the friendship? I actually think that he wasn't being truthful in what was bothering him. I think that he likes her, and seeing her not mind being naked in front of other guys was probably a turn-off. He needs to deal with those insecurities himself, and I think she definitely needs to distance herself. Story number 2. My fiance, 26 male, cheated on me, 24 female, while I was sleeping. I need some advice. I haven't been able to pull myself together for a couple days, so getting it off my chest might help. I'm in a long-term relationship with my high school sweetheart. We got together when I was 15 and he was 17. We've had the odd bump in the road, but that's to be expected when you're kids for most of your relationship. As of the last couple years, things have been going really well between us. He's usually super sweet and thoughtful and supportive of me, especially since this last year I started going to college. About 2 years ago, we made an agreement that we could each have a hall pass just because neither of us really have any experiences outside each other. However, it has strict rules. We have to be open and honest with each other the entire time. From the second we think something might happen, we need to talk to each other about it. It can't be friends and it can't be at home. My biggest requirement was honesty. About a year ago, he broke my trust for the first time. He had asked me for sex and I had said no because I was tired and stressed because of school and work, and he didn't seem bothered. He helped me fall asleep so I could take a nap because I had a headache. When I woke from the nap, he was out in the living room, which didn't arise as strange, so I quietly went to playfully scare him. Well, when I approached from behind, I noticed he was on one of those camgirl sites where you can talk and interact with them, and for me this is a no-go. We fought about this, but ultimately managed to work things out and agreed that this was a boundary that couldn't be crossed. Fast forward the rest of the year, we had absolutely no problems and our relationship was the best it has been. Now, I've been fighting with a cold since New Year's Day. Awful chest cough that makes it hard to catch my breath. I got off work and had an awful headache that made me nauseous from coughing so much. He went and picked me up meds and helped me in the shower to relax my chest. Once I got out of the shower, I was starting to feel better, and he fed me and got me relaxing in bed. We watched some TV, then I told him I was falling asleep and he asked if I felt good enough for some sex to help me sleep. I told him no, I wasn't feeling good enough yet. Again, he was totally understanding. I fell asleep with my hands on his chest listening to his heartbeat so I could focus on not coughing. I fell asleep, then less than an hour later he wakes me up in a panic because he was talking to some random woman that just added him on Facebook. You can guess the context, and they began video chatting. She took a screen record of his junk and was going to send it to his entire friends list if he didn't send her money. All he kept asking me is what he should do. And in my rage I told him I hope she sends it because that's what he deserves. I ended up leaving for the entire night and stayed in my car. Then once he left for work the next day, I came home and cleaned all his stuff out of our room and put it in the living room. I haven't been able to bring myself to talk to him. I haven't been able to leave my bed since I came home. I don't know what I should do. I don't know if I can ever be with him again because I don't know how I'm supposed to ever trust him again. Any opinions would be really helpful. Thanks. TLDR. My fiance video called a random woman while I was sleeping sick and might have his junk sent to his whole family. I'm truly sorry you're going through such a difficult and painful situation. Discovering a betrayal of trust, especially in a long-term relationship like yours, is incredibly hurtful. It's clear that your fiance broke the fundamental rules of the agreement you both had, and more importantly, he violated your trust not once but twice. His actions, especially considering your state of health and vulnerability at the time, were not only disrespectful but also deeply inconsiderate. The pain and confusion you're feeling are completely justified. Trust is a critical component of any relationship, and once it's broken, it's challenging to rebuild. You need to give yourself time and space to process your emotions and decide what's best for you. It's okay to not have all the answers right now. Healing from such an experience takes time. Right now it's important to prioritize your well-being. This might mean taking a break from the relationship to reflect on what you want and need. Counseling, either individual or couples, could be beneficial in navigating your feelings and the future of the relationship. In my personal opinion, it's probably time to discuss no longer having a hall pass if it's creating issues in your relationship. And if you cannot agree on that, then you may have your answer regarding the future of your relationship. I once had an open relationship for 3 years and it nearly destroyed my marriage. I will never make that mistake again, and my marriage is still nowhere near being in a great place yet, and the outcome is still unknown. I wish you the best of luck. Story number 3. Child-free couple, male and female 32, struggling to opt out of family vacations now that kids are involved. TLDR. My family has previously done a week-long family vacation in the summer. Starting last year, my brother had a child, and as a result, wife and I had a bad time. He has 2 children now, and we want to back out. I still love my brother though, and don't want to hurt his feelings. This story involves my parents, male and female 60s, my wife and I, male and female 30s, and my brother's family, male and female 30s, female 2, male 1. A little over 2 years ago, before my brother had kids, my parents resurrected the idea of whole family vacations. We hadn't done it in a while because of starting careers, conflicting schedules, etc. And it went really well. So well that my parents decided to straight up buy a lake house both for their own enjoyment, but also as a place for this kind of event. My brother lives pretty far away, while I live very close to them, and my wife and I both put in a good amount of time and effort getting the house all set up and ready to go. We also have spent plenty of weekends there with my parents. So last year it was time to have the week-long family vacation, and unfortunately it just was not a good time. I love my brother and his family very much, but my wife and I are just really not interested in children at all. On the flip side, my brother and his wife love their children more than life itself, and spend every waking moment they aren't at work interacting with them. Some of the things that bothered us about the vacation with them were: their child is not allowed to watch TV, but they want her to play in the main TV room. The TV was not allowed to be on while child was awake. Their bedroom shares a wall with the TV room, so when child is asleep we must be quiet and TV volume at a whisper level. They could be in a bedroom away from the TV to mitigate this, but that one doesn't have an attached bathroom, so that's what I get. Sister-in-law is breastfeeding or pumping, which must be done quite often, like every 2 hours apparently, but we don't want to exclude her, so any boat excursions we do are very limited, which really kills the lake vibe for me. It probably takes 30 minutes for them to get ready, 30 minutes to drive to a cove and anchor, drink a beer, and then start packing up to drive back to the dock. My brother and sister-in-law don't drink. When they are around, neither do my parents. This is allegedly a vacation, and I'd rather lean towards mimosas every morning and party on the pontoon. With no TV and limited lake access, everyone spends 100% of their time just watching the kids play on the floor in the living room. I don't enjoy this at all. Their child is scared and allergic to my very friendly miniature dog, who is smaller than the child. Doggo doesn't understand why nobody wants him around when usually my parents love him. So now it's already been brought up about this year, and I said I didn't have a good time last year, and I'm not coming this year. I'll go with just my parents, but I think it should just be the 4 of them without me for the week so they can cater specifically to just my brother. I could tell this was the wrong answer. I don't mean anyone any harm, but if I wanted kids I would have some. I want my vacation to be about me and what I want. I'm having trouble with communicating that in a non-offensive way. What do you think I should do? It seems like reframing your perspective on the family gathering could be helpful. Instead of viewing it as a typical vacation, consider seeing it as a dedicated time to be with family, which naturally comes with its own set of challenges and compromises. This mindset shift acknowledges that these gatherings are less about personal relaxation and more about family bonding and accommodating various needs and preferences, including those of your brother's young family. Since you and your wife already enjoy many weekends at the lake house, perhaps you could view the family week as a separate, distinct experience. It's a time for togetherness and making concessions for the greater good of the family unit, understanding that it won't necessarily cater to all your personal preferences. In addition to participating in these family gatherings, you can plan other times at the lake house that are more in line with your ideal vacation. This way, you have your own designated time to enjoy the lake house as you wish, with mimosas and pontoon parties, without the constraints of a family-focused environment. When discussing this with your family, emphasize that while you value the family time, it's important for you and your wife to also have your own experiences at the lake house. Suggest scheduling separate times for these different types of gatherings to ensure that everyone's needs and expectations are met. This approach allows you to maintain family relationships while also preserving your personal enjoyment of the lake house. Story number 4. I tested positive for chlamydia, but my partner tested negative. I feel like I'm going crazy. Backstory: I, 18 female, friends with benefits with this guy, 20 male, and he is my only sexual partner. I lost my virginity to him. We have been messing around for 3 years. The last time we had sex was November 17, 2023, and I got tested December 21, 2023. When my results came back, it said I had chlamydia. So I texted him and told him I had to tell him something important, and the first thing he said was, "Is it health related?" He was really apologetic and told me he just got tested but nothing came back yet. He then tells me that he's been having sex with 3 girls during the months October through December. He said he had sex with one of the girls unprotected, and the other 2 protected. I was so angry because he never told me he was having sex with other people, and I felt so betrayed because I trusted him. So I decided to tell my close friends on Instagram about him for awareness to others that he's dirty and having sex with multiple girls without having any regards for anyone's health. His results came back and they're negative, and I explained that he probably got tested before, found out he had it, cured, and never told me, and I'm just now finding out. And he stopped being apologetic and started calling me a liar. But I'm confused on how I am positive but he's negative when he's the only person I've had sex with in my life. I'm thinking his test was false since he did a urine test and I did a swab test. I need help on deciding what to do next. I hope I didn't just expose him and I was wrong the whole time, or I just need an explanation on how this is possible. TLDR. My ex gave me chlamydia, but when he got tested he's negative. But he was having sex with other girls and he's my only sexual partner. Can someone explain what it means when this happens? Was I in the wrong for exposing him? Could I have a false positive? I'm sorry to hear about the difficult and confusing situation you're in. It's understandable that you're feeling betrayed and looking for explanations. Given the circumstances you've described, I think that your partner transmitted chlamydia to you, especially considering his admission of unprotected sex with others. I think it's a little odd that you're calling him a friend with benefits, which usually means you are not exclusive, but you're upset with him for sleeping around. Anyway, chlamydia can be a tricky infection in terms of testing and timing. It's possible for someone to test negative if they have recently been treated for the infection, or there might be inaccuracies depending on the type of test and the timing of the test after exposure. So, while it's not certain, your assumption that he might have been treated before his test isn't unreasonable. I would advise caution in publicly sharing information about someone's sexual health or behavior, especially on platforms like Instagram. While your intentions might be to warn others, it can lead to unintended consequences and could be seen as a violation of privacy. It's important to handle such sensitive matters discreetly and responsibly. I recommend focusing on your own health and well-being. Getting treatment for chlamydia is crucial, and it's a treatable infection with antibiotics. I would also suggest that he gets more than one type of test done by a professional since you did test positive. Perhaps you can at least convince him of that. Story number 5. Is it rude when my boyfriend, 29 male, walks away from a table without me, 28 female? My boyfriend and I were out to dinner tonight at a nice restaurant. We stand up from the table to leave and put our coats on. My boyfriend gets up, puts his coat on, and walks and stands by the door to wait for me. By the time he is already at the door, I'm standing up adjusting my skirt, and have barely even put my coat on and grabbed my purse. I feel that it is rude when he doesn't wait for me. He does this frequently, and I have said to him before, "Hey, can you wait for me to be ready before you get up and walk away from the table?" He also used to always walk way ahead of me, and I thought it was rude. So when we were walking towards the car, I said, "Hey, can you please not walk away from me, and when I'm not ready it's rude and embarrassing." And he's like, "Wow, sorry. I got up from the table and waited for you by the door. It's not like I left the restaurant." I'm like, "Yes, but it's just rude and makes me feel bad. And it's embarrassing when we're out to a nice restaurant and everyone here is on a date. Does anyone else find this rude?" He doesn't realize how his behavior is rude. It feels narcissistic. TLDR. Is it rude when my boyfriend, 29 male, walks away from a table without me, 28 female? Your feelings about your boyfriend's behavior are completely valid. If you feel that it's rude for him to walk away from the table without waiting for you, then it is indeed rude, especially in a social setting like a nice restaurant. Communication and mutual respect are key in any relationship, and it's important that your partner acknowledges and respects your feelings. You've done the right thing by expressing how his actions make you feel. It's concerning, however, that he doesn't seem to take your feelings seriously or understand why his behavior is upsetting to you. His response indicates a lack of consideration for your perspective. Small gestures, like waiting for each other and walking together, are significant in showing care and respect in a relationship. It's not just about the physical act of walking ahead, it's about the message it sends regarding his consideration for you and your feelings. If this behavior continues despite your conversations about it, it might be worth considering the broader implications for your relationship. A partner who consistently disregards your feelings in seemingly small matters may do so in more significant aspects of the relationship as well. You should have a deeper conversation about how these actions make you feel and why they are important to you. If he understands and cares about your feelings, he should be willing to make this small but meaningful change. If he continues to dismiss your concerns, it may be a sign to reevaluate the future of the relationship and whether your needs and feelings are being adequately met. You deserve to be with someone who respects you and is considerate of your feelings. Thank you for joining us for today's journey through the whispers of the web. Share your thoughts and suggestions for our next adventure. If you're not yet a part of our whispering community, click the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications to never miss out on another story. Join us next time as we uncover another enthralling tale from the web. Until our next whisper.